Well, it's not coming up on Facebook yet. Give me 1 second.
Yes, it is on
Yeah.
Twitter. Boom.
Good on
Oh,
Twitter.
yep, we are live on Facebook.
Let me check this here. Instagram didn't work.
Nobody's watching
What
yet
happened?
on Twitter though yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we're live in the places that it matters, aren't we?
I just don't. How do you watch the comments on Facebook? I don't even know how to do that. There we go.
Live on
Okay, we're
YouTube.
cooking with grease.
All right.
How do you watch the comments on Facebook?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Welcome into the Don't Go Out There horror movie review podcast. Sorry, I can't do it beautifully and smoothly as Nico, but that's okay. Fellas, I'm so glad you guys decided to indulge me on this. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. We're going to rank 31 to 1 all the films in the Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, and Friday the 13th movie series. I'm excited. Little Freddy, little Michael, little Jason, lots of arguing, likely Dustin, and it's going to be a really fun time. I'm looking forward to it, fellas. Nico, you wanted to go around the room and talk about what our criteria is. I guess I'll just go ahead and get started. For me, I decided to rank my movie ability is high on the list, but higher for me than maybe some of you is how well the movie is made. I like a well-made movie. It doesn't look like it comes from an 80s porn or some shitty music video in 2002. I need something that looks professional and clean, and so that's high up for me. But I also just am I entertained by this movie? If a movie is boring, it's going to be very, very low on my list. If a movie is fun and entertaining, it probably moves up a little bit, even if it's not a great film. So that was kind of my criteria: is it good? Is it entertaining? Is it a well-made movie? Those are kind of my three big things. Now I have one kind of up towards the top that kind of goes against all that, but that's okay. We'll talk about it later. Let's go to you, Brian. What was your criteria?
So my criteria is mostly just my favorite ones and ones I wanted to watch and watchability factor. And if I had to decide between two of them in a certain tier, which by the way, it was really hard for me to just do one over the other. So I kind of broke them into 3 tiers. My 3 tiers are, I love them. I love these set of movies. My second tier is I would watch these anytime at all. I like this set of movies. And my last tier, which has about 10 movies in it, was I never want to watch again in my lifetime. So if you ask me to defend one or the other in a tier, it's going to be hard because I kind of just thought, which one would I rather watch at the moment, and kind of bump the other one in front of it. But other than that, that was kind of my criteria there.
Yeah, I was pretty simple with mine. I just looked at these. First, what I did was I ranked each franchise individually, 1 through whatever, and then I went back and was like, okay, let's start at the bottom. Which one of these movies absolutely suck? Well, all of them at the bottom. And then I was just working my way up from there. I was like, okay, it was strictly enjoyability for me. How likely am I to rewatch the movie? I didn't. If you listen to my rankings on this and then you go back and listen to a review of one of these movies, it may not align to where I gave it a high rating and it's at the top of my list. That may not be the same thing, because it may just be that I enjoy the movie, but I acknowledge it has its flaws. So when I ranked my 31, it was strictly enjoyability and how likely I am to rewatch it.
Yeah, I agree with that, Dustin. I did a lot of factoring in, and I'm sure like the rest of the co-hosts this week, I re-listened to all of our rankings episodes, and I kind of cringed at someone because like, God, I'm gonna be flip-flopping them now. So I'm really glad, Mike, that we did this, because I'm correcting. I think all of us are maybe correcting our previous rankings a little bit.
Correcting a lot from Friday.
Yeah.
I'm correcting a lot of Friday the 13th. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna, and I think Dustin is actually gonna be a little proud of a couple of them that I moved up. Actually, I'm gonna give him 2 letters, RZ. So they're not as low as they were. So
get the hell out of here.
A lot of. I know we did a lot of work because I'm sure all of us did. I did 3 or 4 drafts for this ranking, honestly. So I'm really looking forward to this episode. Great idea, Mike. And Mike, do you want to shout out where you got the idea from one more time?
Yeah. So obviously before we start, I'll shout out Cody Leach and Willis Greedy over there, those guys at Off Top Stream. They've done this, I think, 3 years running now. They've used a couple different franchises, but they started with this one. And obviously, when they did, we didn't have a show yet. So might as well get started with the 3 that make up our logo. These are the 3 that kind of got us to start this show in the first place. So I figured a way to kick off. I kind of want to make it an annual tradition. Every Halloween, we'll throw a couple franchises together and rank them. And obviously, all the Chucky movies will be at the bottom as soon as we get a chance. Okay, so sorry, Dustin. Fellas, go ahead and kick this off. Brian, you are up first. Let's start at number 31. 31, Brian.
Yeah, hey, and shout out to Kristen Farmer and Eric Redding. You guys comment in these things if you have any questions, and we'll try to answer them on air too as we're kind of doing this. My number 31 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. And let me just say, I'm glad this is a visual medium so that you can see my face when I'm so excited. I'm so excited that Mike is going to pick this to review. I'm so excited.
As you should be.
As you should be. Okay. Well, I know that's all you had to say because you don't want to give too much away, but that's okay. All right. My number 31 is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, because it should have been The Final Nightmare because it was the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever watched. It's the worst horror movie I've ever seen. I don't know what else I can say about it that hadn't already been said about Afghanistan, bombed out and depleted, as the great Dave Chappelle said. So that movie stinks. It sucks. I can't crap on it any more than I already have. And not only is it has a poor script, the acting is bad, except for Robert Englund, who even in this movie he's a little funky. There's nothing bad. It quotes the Wizard of Oz, which is so weird. Like just a very bad horror movie. So number 31 is Freddy's Dead.
Number 31 for me is Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. I've been very vocal how much I hate that stupid fucking movie. And listen, I get a lot of people that like that movie. Their biggest thing is if you just take, separate it from the Halloween franchise, just take Michael out of it and just watch it as a standalone film. I did that. It stinks out loud. It's awful.
Well, you know what? Nobody would even see this film if it wasn't named Halloween. Nobody would have even heard of it.
That's
Sorry,
true.
Matt. Sorry,
Very
Matt.
true.
Yeah, sorry, Matt.
No, it's not a very good movie.
Not sorry, Matt. It's not.
And it's just it's just hokey. I hate everything about it. Mike and I watched that one the first time I watched it. Mike and I watched it and we're texting back and forth, and I was like, Jesus, man, like don't never make me do
Halloween.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be long. I actually did watch this movie this time. If you listen to the Halloween ranking, I said Season of the Witch was dead last, and I didn't even want to watch it. Well, my co-host bullied me into watching it, and it was still dead last. It was awful. I hated it.
Yes.
All right, number 30, Brian.
All right, number 30 is Jason X. I hate this fucking movie. Should have never gone into space. Leprechaun tried it. You should learn from that. So Jason X is my number 30.
All right, a lot of arguing with me and Brian, not me and Dustin, apparently. Okay. My the 13th, part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, or a boat ride, or rides a canoe, or whatever the fuck he does. It's a terrible movie. There's not anything redeeming about it except the boxer kill. There's a cool shot of Kane Hodder standing in Times Square. That's it. Those are the two things. Everything else sucks. The character sucks. The story sucks. Being on a ship the entire time sucks. It's not good. It's bad. It's the worst Jason movie, and it's not close. And he's wet the entire film. It looks ridiculous. It's a stupid look for Jason. I'm sorry that Kane Hodder had to be in such a shit film. That's my number 30, Friday the 13th, part 8.
You know something? You suck. My number 30 is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. For all the reasons you said, Mike, that movie, it was honestly a toss-up between it and Halloween 3. I hate both of those movies. If I never watch them again, I've still have seen it too many times.
Yep, number 30. Me and Dustin the same choice again. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6. Freddy's Dead. It's god awful. I really can't piggyback off what Mike's already said. It's terrible. I would never recommend to watch it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Brian's going to try to defend that movie in like 2 picks. But go ahead, Brian.
No, actually, my number 29 is Freddy's Dead, and
Thank you.
And I only have that above Jason X because of Robert Englund being in the movie, and it's it would both be, I would rather poke my eyes out than watch either one of them. So it was really hard to even put it at 29, much less 30 or 31.
Okay. 29
That's
for
fair.
me. I'm staying in the same franchise.
Whoa.
Oh, my bad.
You
I skipped you.
what the? That's it. Get your ass out of here. Okay.
You deserve to
All
be
right,
skipped
now
after what you just said about
Ju-
Jason 8.
Just because the Browns won today, don't mean you can do whatever the hell.
I woke up feeling dangerous. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So obviously, you guys probably know what's coming right here. Number 29 is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, the only reason this is number 29 and not number 31 is because it has Michael Myers in it. That's it. And it has to John Carpenter score. Otherwise, it would be dead last. It ruined the franchise. It took away 2 or 3 of my favorite characters within the franchise. It made a really cool Harry Lloyd musical movie. When the cops walk, there's like a circus sound. They killed off Rachel for Tina, which Tina is one of the worst movies and one of the worst characters in movie history. Not just horror movie history, movie history. She sucks. She's annoying and terrible, and to base the whole movie around her made no damn sense. And Dr. Loomis, they turned him into a complete bumbling moron where he's old and can't find Michael Myers, and he tries to coerce a little girl and like shake her and all this. It's just a bad movie. It sucks. Oh, and The Mask is god awful. So number 29 is Halloween 5.
That's fair.
All right, now I'll go. My number 29. I'm sticking in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Big surprise here. We're gonna go.
I knew you were, buddy.
We're gonna go with Part 5, The Dream Child. I mean, come on, you guys can admit that that's a shit movie, right? Like, I shit on it pretty heavily when we were doing the rankings episode, and I stand by every word I said. I was probably too easy on it.
All right, me and Dustin are agreeing again. Number
Let's
29
go,
is The
Lord.
Nightmare on
Good
Elm
Lord.
Street, Part 5, Dream Child. It's awful.
Tag team
Yeah,
back again.
Hey,
Well,
you two
me
go ahead
and him will
kiss him.
disagree in a little bit. We'll disagree in a little bit.
That's true.
I have a feeling there's some disagreements coming up with Dustin and you. Brian, number 28.
All right, number 28 for me is the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street from 2010. They have a little bit of good in it, but I mean, sorry, there's no Robert Englund. There were some very stupid plot points. I hate it. So pretty much, I think this is pretty much on par with my Nightmare rankings that we did a couple of weeks ago. So, and you can hear that on don'tgooutthere.com.
Thank you. Hey, I still got to wait for a call me sometime. Nothing's happened yet. So my number 28 is Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. For everything that Dustin just said, it's a really, really bad film. I don't like the concept of invading a baby's dreams and possessing them, whatever the hell they were trying to do in that movie. Just a really stupid concept that they could have done something better with, but chose not to. They had characters return that I didn't care about in the first place from Dream Master. And so that is another sin. And this movie's biggest sin to me is that it's very boring. And I said that in the beginning where I don't find myself being able to pay attention to this movie. So that's why it's so low. Robert Englund's in it. That's the only reason it's not a little bit lower. So Nightmare on Elm Street Child.
Yeah, my 28, I'm going with Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers. Oh, yes, baby. He's laughing. It's just a bad movie.
Man.
It's just a bad movie.
You like?
No, it was 4 that I liked. It was 5 that I didn't.
No, I'm talking about Brian. He's going to defend Halloween
okay.
5. We're gonna have words. We're gonna have some serious words.
All right, 28 for
I don't
me
know where you're
is
coming up
Halloween
with
5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. It stinks.
This is incredible.
Go ahead, Brian.
Which number are we on?
27.
Yeah. 27 for me is
27.
Halloween
Hey,
3. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, number 27 for me. For pretty much all the reasons we've already said. I hate that movie.
My number 27 is Friday the 13th, New Blood. This is another film I find it really boring. I don't like the concept of Jason versus Carrie. It doesn't do anything for me, even though they couldn't use the actual Carrie. And I don't know. This movie really hard to pay attention to. And the MPAA hacked it. The kills are kind of like HBO level. So, I mean, not now HBO level, but like 98 HBO level. So really bad. Like no gore, nothing cool's happening. And I think the plot line is really stupid. So Number 27, Friday the 13th, A New Blood.
Steven
Yeah,
Rodriguez. Yeah, we
Come on.
we agree with that, Steven.
Yeah, Stephen, we definitely do. We're proud. My number 27 is Jason X.
Hold
Jason has no business in space. The super shredder look was ridiculous. The only redeeming quality was the sleeping bag kill. That wasn't even a kill because it's a virtual reality. But that movie sucked also. So Jason X 27.
All right, me and Dustin are disagreeing finally. Number 27, and Brian, don't get your feelings hurt, brother. I'm sorry. Number 27 is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. A slasher franchise does not need stupid mythology added to it. Let the slasher slash. Go ahead, Brian.
Doesn't need stupid mythology handed to it. Man. All right.
Cult of Thorn is
I'm gonna hold-
unnecessary.
later, but that's okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. I mean, yes. Okay. Anyway, number 26 for me is Jason Takes Manhattan, Friday the 13th, Part 8. And yeah, we've kind of gone into pretty good depth detail on why this is in my final tier of never want to see again, which I do have. Let's see, 4 more in this tier that I never want to watch again.
But for some reason, we own them all, which is insane. But here we are buying movies that we hate. Okay. My number 26 is Halloween Resurrection. This movie sucks. Plain and simple. It has Michael Myers, but I think it's a really bad film. I don't need Busta Rhymes doing kung fu in my Halloween movie. I think that's completely fucking ridiculous. It's a stupid. He does the trick or treat, motherfucker. I don't need that Halloween movie. Okay, it's dumb as hell. And how Michael Myers even got back at. I know. I'm glad it exists so I can do trick or treat. But I don't. Here's the thing about that movie, though. I like the idea that it had. I like that concept of going online, kind of like that reality TV mode. I just think the execution was done so damn bad. The acting is bad. The characters are ones I don't care about. And again, Busta Rhymes is basically a final girl, which is awful. So, Halloween Resurrection.
Let me ask you something. Would you feel better about the kung fu had it been a member of the Wu-Tang Clan? Because that's at least more believable.
Perhaps.
Okay.
I don't really want kung fu. I'll be honest. I don't really want kung fu in my Halloween movie unless this was from like the Karate Kid or something, a nice little crossover. That'd be the only way.
Okay. All right. My number 26 is Jason Goes to Hell. Do not like that movie at all. And look at the two of you all. It's a good thing, I think, that I wasn't on the show back when you guys interviewed Adam Marcus, because I wouldn't have been able to fake it like that. He was great. I still enjoy that. Like, I went back and listened to it. It's a great interview, but I would have been unkind to his work because I did not like the movie.
All right, Friday the 13th fans, I'm ready to piss y'all off. Number 26 is the Friday the 13th OG, the original.
How about some explanation here, pal?
All right, here's some explanation. There's no Jason. The acting is terrible. The final girl is terrible. Tom Savini's kills and effects were good, but that's about it. That is about it. Go watch the movie. The acting is god awful.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon, did you hear that? It's a good thing you went on to do nothing.
Yeah. Who the hell's he?
Yeah, he stunk in Tremors too, but we'll get to that in a future review.
Wow.
Now you're just getting personal. I don't really appreciate it.
You're critiquing Kevin Bacon, but forgiving Buster. I'm fucking done.
Kevin Bacon was not bad, but go watch The Final Girl. She's awful in that movie.
Okay.
Sorry, Alex.
Alice is a terrible final girl.
Sorry, Alex.
Yeah. Brian, number 25.
Well, I was going to have her on the show, but let me work that off. Hold on. Sorry. That one just got. Yeah.
No, on the show, please.
And Shan, yeah, I completely agree with you. But trust me, we're going to have lots to talk about that because that's the next episode coming out that we're reviewing. So,
yeah.
All right. So my number 25 is Halloween 07, the director's cut of the Rob Zombie movie. I said the director's cut because without the director's cut, to me, it's even lower. And, we kind of went into depth with this. I rated it a 5 because I felt like it was only half a movie. So that's how I feel about that. And the half that was good was stolen from John Carpenter. So,
Oh yes, shots,
This is
baby,
just-
Rob Zombie.
This is just personal attacks on Dustin.
All right, that's the whole point. I did this. Hey, you see that movie poster back there? It's only because Nico forced me into buying it, but I'm glad he did. Anyway,
Hey, before you go, Mike. Hey, Shan, we're going to talk about that retcon tomorrow.
Yeah.
yeah, we are. Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, Part 5. First of all, this movie doesn't have Jason. It's basically a horror comedy, and I don't think any of the comedy is funny at all. Fuck is Roy? I know that they used to have that commercial. I quoted it when we talked about it last time. The Roy. So that's what I think about every time I watch that stupid, sorry-ass movie. And the only time I watch that movie is if I'm marathoning Friday the 13th. So, it's just one of those that I'm absolutely have to. And I don't love. I like the whodunit, but I don't like that it ends up being a fucking paramedic that's stupid. And they have people singing to each other while they're pooping and stuff. It's just really, really weird. So number 25 is A New Beginning.
Dustin, it sounded like Scream 2 we just talked about.
Oh wow.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I got
Oh,
hacked.
baby.
I got hacked. All right.
Vocal cords
That
got
is the
hacked.
worst part of that movie. That
My
is the worst.
my 25 is Halloween Resurrection. I agree with what you said, Mike. Busta Rhymes, shout out to his whole discography, but that's where it stops for me. So don't need to see him.
Oh,
I
he
don't
can
like
spit.
that crossover. Yeah,
can-
but he can't act, so I don't need that. That's a terrible movie.
All right, number 25
I have a
is.
feeling
Go ahead, Mike.
you're going to end up with that in your top 5, and we're all going to just be like, oh.
Oh, God, no, it's not top 5, but it's definitely way higher.
Oh.
25 is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Jesse's awful. Freddy's awful. I don't like the movie. It's terrible. And it's 97 degrees in the house, and you're all sitting down, and all of a sudden, it's so hot in here all of a sudden. Man, get out of here. I hate that movie.
God. All right.
It has
number
one epic
20
scene, though, with You're All My Children Now. That's a good scene.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, but it's the real world. It's not. Never mind.
I know. No, I have that in my notes. So, yeah.
Number 24 for me is Nightmare on Elm Street 5. I know Lisa Wilcox, friend of the show, couldn't even save that movie. That is the epic worst Freddy, the jokey Freddy that you could have on there. So that's my number 24 in my third tier of I never want to watch again.
Yeah,
Getting a little worried about how
kinda-
high Freddy's dead. Being awesome. Okay, you're
I'm
going to
kinda
skip
with
me
you,
one more
Brian.
time, mother. I'm gonna-
No, I was just saying I'm not going yet. I'm not going yet. Calm down. Relax. Relax. What I'm saying is I agree with you.
I'm
It's
sorry.
funny that you said that's the last one in your never want to watch again tier because
No,
I've got a line. Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh.
No.
You got a couple more. Okay.
I got a couple
That's where mine is right after this one. So go ahead.
Yeah, mine's coming up on the never want to watch. Actually, this is the last I never want to watch again, and it's number 24 is Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. For everything that's already been said, I don't think it's a god awful movie, but I don't think it's a good movie either. It's in the category of never want to watch again because I'm indifferent about it. I don't have a strong feeling either way. It didn't make me angry. It didn't make me want to watch it again. It's just there. It's just blah. There's kids running around in weird masks and some old guy trying to get with a really young girl. And it's just not a very good storyline. I don't like the storyline. It's a cheesy B horror movie from the 80s. And it has a stupid little jingle that gets stuck in my head. The Halloween, that gets stuck in my head. So that pisses me off every time I watch it. So I won't ever watch it again unless we have to review it, which I'm not picking it. So number 24, Halloween 3. I
agree with what you just said. The most unbelievable thing about that whole movie is the old man getting with that young chick who was kind of good looking. Like, what? The
He's
mask
like 50
brainwashing.
something and she's maybe 20.
The mass brainwashing
Right.
people was more believable than that. But anyway, 24, this is the last one. This is where I've got the line to where anything above it, I will watch again, but I may not necessarily go out of my way. These are the ones that I don't want to watch anymore unless we're about to review it or it's a marathon type deal, is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Oh, you're going to do that after you had both Rob Zombie Halloweens in your bottom 24? Get out of here. So, Yeah, that 24 Halloween 6.
All right, number 24 for me is shout out to friend of the show, Adam Marcus. Really appreciate you joining us. But number 24 is Jason Goes to Hell. Like I said, I don't need mythology in my slashers.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think
Fair.
that my biggest accomplishment on this show is not getting Robert Englund on here or Heather Langenkamp. My biggest accomplishment is I believe that Nico rated that completely last in his Friday rankings, and he has bumped it up from not completely last, and I take credit for that. And I got another one I'm going to take credit for whenever Mike gets to it eventually. Anyway, it's my turn.
Okay.
All right, so my number 23,
Yeah.
which is still in I Never Want to Watch Again, is Halloween 5. So there you go, Mike. With I completely every time I think about that movie, I just think of him driving the car and dropping off Tina and having that weird mask that has like him smoking a cigar or something. That's my number 23, Halloween 5.
Don't get me back started on Halloween 5, okay? All right. My number, Michael Jordan. That's 23. Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D. And I've never seen it in 3D. So some scenes that are supposed to be 3D, they're just kind of like long, drawn-out things. Towards that annoys me. I think this movie's way too slow. It's too long. I like Richard's portrayal of Jason, but it's just the movie itself it's just way too long for what it's supposed to be. They take too long to get to the good stuff. And when they get to the worst, god-awful acting I have ever seen in my life. So the kills are – but what I will say is I like Jason in this movie, and that's why it's a little bit higher than one. So Friday the 13th, Part 3, number 23.
23 for me is Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 4, The Dream Master. We're about to go on a run here, boys. So
I was gonna say, here come all the Freddies, buddy.
At least
All
we're
right,
out of the I Never Want to Watch Again section for Dustin. At least we're out of that.
I would watch this again. I just don't like it.
All right, my LeBron number, the real basketball GOAT, is Friday the 13th.
Oh, my
Part 2.
God.
Team Sack. I am not Team Sack. Mike is Team Sack. And you can go to manscaped.com and use code Don't Go to get free shipping and 20% off to keep your sack clean.
Speaking of sack.
Oh, wrong side. Yeah. Give a sec.
Sorry,
Are
guys. Product
you shitting
placement.
on
Product
Friday the
placement.
13th Part 3?
I got it right there.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nico, I've never said this to you. I've never said this to you, Nico. I've only said it to Dustin and Brian. Hey, Nico, fuck you, okay?
Now it's official. We've all gotten it.
Well, it's been said to me more than
Okay.
anyone else. So, I mean,
That's true.
Well, you deserve it, pal. Deserve it, pal. Go ahead, Brian.
Sorry,
number
Matt.
22.
All right, my number 22, and I'm going to roundhouse kick my last section of I Never Want to Watch Again out of here with Halloween Resurrection, Busta Rhymes. I'm going to say that this movie has a very good idea and a good plot, but you know, it's the roundhouse that ended the franchise. The franchise killer is what I like to call it. So it's gonna round out my I would like to never watch again section there. So that's it. Halloween Resurrection.
Just think, if
Thank you,
Resurrection
Brian.
was better, we would have never had to endure the Rob Zombie Halloween movie. So, Nico, I don't like it so much because it's the reason we have Rob Zombie Halloweens.
I'd rather watch Rob
I'm
Zombies
sorry,
than Cult of
Dustin, are
Thorn.
you there?
Oh, my bad.
Well, me too. But
Hey, shout out to Joe.
Okay.
Hey, Joe, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Disgusting.
oh god. Okay, my number 22
Don't
is the
encourage
Nightmare on Elm
it.
Street remake. So the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, I actually don't think Freddy's the issue with that movie. I think there's a lot of other stuff. I call it the emo nightmare for a reason. Everybody in there is emo and probably listen to Red Jumpsuit Apparatus or whatever the fuck their name is. And
Hey, whoa. I like
and,
red
you know,
jumpsuit apparatus.
I'm sure you do. Anyway, but everybody. No, but seriously, it's not a good remake. It does too much of the same stuff when that film already exists. So there's no reason to go back and redo the same scenes over again. If you're going to do a remake, you got to put your own spin on it. I don't think they did a very good job with that. They just recreated a lot of the iconic scenes from the original Nightmare on Elm Street, so that automatically gets a bump down. Plus, we went way too far into Freddy being a pervert, which is just supposed to be subtext in my face. I don't really like that, so that's why it's at number 22.
No pun intended with the in your face part either.
Sure. All right, my 22 is Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Telekinesis. Tina can go to hell. Even though Laura Park Lincoln, friend of the show, it was a great interview. The movie still sucked ass.
Great
and
interview.
I just, had they actually got the rights for Carrie, maybe I would have been more invested, but I wasn't. And that movie's just got a lot that I disliked. So, Part 7.
Man, Dustin, where does your suck ass level cut off? Because if we're past your point of never want to watch again, but still in the movies that suck ass,
yeah,
like where's that level?
18.
Oh, okay.
A few more.
I would like to point out we're now in my butt ass average. Like this is butt ass average a territory right here. That's what
You're right, Jeremy Ireland. You're right. It is great value, Freddie.
Hey, 22. I got the same choice as you, Mike. Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2010 remake. I can't really argue anything they said. But after re-listening to the Nightmare on Elm Street rankings and some thought, I like it better than Part 2, so I moved it ahead of Part 2.
Hey Joe, why don't you tell everybody on air now what your favorite number 1 is for your list? Anyway, number 21 for me, which is barely out of the I never want to watch again, but if it's on TV, hey, I'll watch it. Is the original Friday the 13th. I do not think it sucks ass. It is what I look at this movie for what it is. I look at this movie like people wish people would look at the Halloween 3 as, and it's not even a comparison. So I think Betsy Palmer did a great job. It started the entire franchise that we have. So I give it a little bit of props, and I'll watch it. I'll catch it if it's on TBS or something.
Okay. My number 1 is Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. I have a lot of reasons why I don't like this movie. There are some good things about this movie, which is why it's in the below ass average, or the butt ass average, excuse me. It has a good mask. If you get the Michael Myers mask right, I will immediately more than another that didn't. Now, that doesn't make it a good movie. I think Paul Terrible in his first big role, I think he's awesome. I think the Cult of Thorn storyline is really dumb. That's why 5 and 6 are so low for me, because the Cult of Thorn whole thing stinks. 4 is not a part of Cult. I can't hammer that home enough. It's its own movie, not in the Cult of Thorn. Had nothing to do with that garbage storyline. But Part 6 just has a lot of bad. I don't like the Man in Black, the ruins, and in the beginning of the producer's cut, you get basically an impregnated Jamie Lloyd. And it's supposed to be hinted that Michael's the dad. Like, it's just really weird. Too much going on. Not a fan. Sloppy all over the place. So, number 21, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
And make sure you're saying the producer's cut, or are you saying the theatrical cut? Like, I'm trying to.
I think they're both number 21. How about that?
All right, my number 21 is Nightmare on Elm Street remake 2010. I actually, when we reviewed it, or when we did our rankings, that's what it was. When we did our rankings for Nightmare, I had some decent things to say about it. There are some redeeming qualities to me. For me, I like the new take on it that they tried to do. It's just that there are some flaws that could have easily been fixed. I wish that Robert Englund would have been involved. I wish that he would have been Freddy, obviously. But I don't think the new guy did bad necessarily. But it's just not a great movie. This is one of those, I'll watch it, but yeah, it still sucks ass.
We'll get to it, Joe. We'll get to it.
Before I jump into my 21, I think, I got teased we're doing Halloween H2O tomorrow. And the best part about watching Dead Meat James H2O kill count was at the very beginning of it, where he says that this movie kind of, goes in a different timeline from the Cult of Thorn. He says, I'm sure all 10 of you are disappointed that they discontinued the Cult of Thorn. But number 21 for me is controversial.
Oh,
The
boy.
original Halloween 2.
Jesus Christ.
What? Okay. Okay, how about some reasons?
Oh, I mean, I
No.
thought we were just going. Well, it's the continuation of more Laurie Strode. She's still just as whiny. It brings in the stupid idea of their brother and sister, which gets retconned later in the 2018, which is significantly better. So I'm just not a big fan of Halloween Part 2.
All right. Wow.
You don't like the little
like-
Amazing Grace? Come sit on my face. No? Not yet. Okay. No? Okay.
Hey, the hot tub kill is cool for reasons.
Yes,
2 reasons.
Go ahead, Brian.
All right. So my number 21, I'm about to go on a little run like Dustin was, but is Friday the 13th Part 2 with Sackhead Jason. It had a very good final girl. It had a decent story. I don't even mind the Sackhead because I love Friday the 13th 2009 remake, and half of it he has the Sackhead, but it's just not the same without the hockey mask. There's a lot of other little issues. It was almost to that point a remake of the first one, and just with a different killer. And so anyway, that's my number 20, Friday the 13th Part 2.
Okay, 20. My number 20, stay tuned. Later this week, we're going to be discussing Halloween H2O.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah, spicy.
That's a preview.
I'm gonna
That's
save.
a spoiler.
I'm gonna save my thoughts as to why it's so low for the episode for the review. But for now, I'll just say Halloween H2O is my number 20.
Looks like I'm going to be fighting everybody on that movie and Halloween 6.
I'm a fan of Halloween H2O, but maybe not as big a one as you are.
Yeah.
We know.
Did Dustin skip you again, Mike? Oh, shit.
No.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Mute. Hey, I'm muting Franklin here.
I've already gone.
Okay, my number 20. That's fine. As long as we all get our shit in, you know what I mean. My number 20 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. 5 just kind of run together. I forget which scene is in which movie, and that really bugs me because they're just kind of blah. This is not bad. Like, it's not a ass movie. Classify 5, but I still think it's bad. It's boring. See why I hate it so much when we get a little bit higher, because it did a really big no to me, but I can't top of my rankings. So I have to kind of one reason why it's so low. And the second reason why it's so low is because this is where they start to make jokey Freddy a little too jokey. You come off of 3 where he has really cool one-liners, and then in 4 he's about dialogue is one of those one-liners. So I'm not. I think it's just kind of blah, and that's why it's at number 20, the Dream Master.
Yep, Mike, same pick. Not number 20, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Dream Master. It's got some redeeming things. One of my favorite kills, the Roach Motel. That's an awesome kill. Friend of the show, Lisa Wilcox.
Wasn't that Lisa's favorite as well, I believe?
That was Heather Langenkamp's favorite outside of the super serious one. She thought that was really good. Yeah, that's a great kill. Shout out to Lisa Wilcox, friend of the show. And like Mike just said, it's kind of the start of the jokey Freddy, which is it gets ridiculous. And like Mike mentioned in our rankings episode, they kill off all the Dream Warriors kids that you love. So it's like, okay. Part 4 is rewatchable. It's not terrible, but it's 20 for a reason.
All right, my number 19 is Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. I don't dislike this as much as everybody else or a lot of people, just because and by the way, shout out friend of the show, Deborah Voorhees. Yeah, that is her last name. Go check out her interview. She's doing great. Coming out with a new fan film. Well, it's not really even a fan film.
She was great.
It's yeah. So it's but she's producing it and doing the whole thing. 13 Fanboy. Check it out. Anyway, it's got some pretty good kills. Yeah, no, it's not Jason, and I used to hate it a lot more than I do now because it wasn't Jason. But I appreciate it for what it is, which is kind of a little Scooby-Doo episode. And Jason is in it because he's got a little nightmare sequence at the very beginning, which I think is pretty cool with maggots coming out of his face. A little Tommy nightmare in it. It's got Tommy Jarvis. So I don't mind. I don't mind part 5.
And fun fact, the Jason at the very beginning is the same guy who played Michael Myers when he was bandaged up. Tom Morga, I think is his name.
There you go.
I watched the Dead Meat Halloween thing. That's the only reason I knew that.
Okay. My number 19 is the original Friday 13th from 1980. I don't hate this movie. I think it's a good little B slasher movie. If I'm just viewing it as that, when I view it in the Friday the 13th timeline, I don't like it that much because there is no Jason. It doesn't follow formula, and it doesn't do anything to improve upon. It's a Halloween knockoff, and obviously, I'm very, very big fan of Halloween. It's a Halloween ripoff. The creator said that it's a Halloween ripoff, so it's not a knock. It's just truth. Except it didn't do Halloween near as well as Halloween did. But what I'll say is, I like the whodunit. I don't mind Betsy Palmer being the killer. Not a bad twist. So again, it's a nice little whodunit slasher, but it's not. It's just the acting is bad, like you said, except for a couple people. I think Betsy Palmer is good, and Kevin Bacon is fine. But one of the worst final girls in the whole franchise is Alice. And and the kills, I don't mind the kills; they're okay. So it's just a little. It's almost a little boring. I hate to keep using that word. It's almost a little boring sometimes. So that's why it's right here.
Oh boy. So my number 19 is the same as Brian's, Friday the 13th, Part 5, New Beginning. I think it's a decent movie, and it is a cool twist that it's not Jason, but it's annoying that it's not Jason. There's definitely there's two sides to that coin for sure. Overall, I don't mind the movie. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad. So that's my number 19.
All right, Dustin. Number 19, one of the movies that made the biggest jump in my rankings. And this is a movie that I do look kind of as not in the franchise. I kind of I do my best to separate it. Is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. It made a significant jump in my rankings from our Halloween rankings.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed friend of the show, Tyler Main, our very first Michael Myers actor, joining us and telling us that film actually featured the kill of Octavia Spencer at the very beginning. So shout out to Tyler Main. Thank you for joining us.
The fact that is that the only Halloween movie that has an Oscar-winning actress in it? I believe so.
Octavia Spencer.
Yep. For the help, baby.
Jamie Lee Curtis never won an Oscar for anything. I don't know.
Halloween's trying to win her one because I can't think of nothing without her.
Oh, here we go.
One for Two Lies. She deserved one.
At least we don't have. At least we're not sending our guy to space. Anyway. Listen. In the words of Octavia Spencer, Nico, eat my shit. Anyway.
Yeah, Matt, that was why he picked it, I'm sure, actually. Let's see, number 18 for me is Friday the 13th, Part 3. At this point, if you're watching them in order, you get I do anyway, I get a little bit burned out on the same formula from 1 through 3. The only plus is that he finds the hockey mask. There are some decent kills in it. I'm not going to go grab Part 3 and put it in and watch it. But if I'm watching them all in order, I do start with Part 3. So anyway, that's my number 18.
Okay, my number 18 is Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy. For a couple of the reasons that Nico said, but I don't hate it as much as he did. I think it's still got serious Freddy, which is why it's so high, because I can actually take Freddy Krueger serious in the movie. Obviously, it's known as the gayest horror film of all time. That's not. It's just there's nothing. It's just it actually has a really documentary about it that they just put on. I think Hulu or Prime Video has it, one or the other. But they just had a documentary about that, and it helped a lot of people come out. I thought that was really cool. So it has a good reputation with that. But as a horror movie, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's a weird follow up to a great classic Nightmare on Elm Street. Like it's a franchise as far as the rest of the movie. It has a lot of cool weird kills, like the coach with the towels in the bathroom and stuff. And then he's in the real world, dream world, and there's just all this weird stuff that's just still can put this on and will not be bored. So that's why it's number 18.
And it's also number 18 for me, for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. I kind of enjoyed the movie. It's got its redeeming plot, other than the stupid dance scene when he's cleaning his room. Take that out. I never want to see that again. But the rest of the movie, though, man, I do kind of enjoy it. It's got its redeeming plot. Robert Englund jumping up out the ground at the pool. That's cool. I set the Rey Mysterio music to it. But yeah, I don't think it's as terrible as Nico does. But it's the cutoff for my sucks ass. And
All right,
sucks ass, but still we'll watch it, right?
Exactly.
There you go.
All right, here's a film that is beloved for a lot of the fans of the franchise, but like we all prefaced, we all made our list kind of on which one would we rather watch. So that's what brought this one down for me. Number 18 is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I don't like the mask. The kills aren't that great to me. It's Mike's walking away. I'm not a fan. I'm not the biggest fan of this movie. Sorry. Hey, Mike, you got to come back. You're picking in 2 spots. And I hate the character of Brady. He's awful.
Damn, no, dude. Well, I don't. Anyway, shout out to Christine Kinmont for doing the intro for our show.
Hey, cops do it by the book.
Cops do it by the book. Anyway, number 17 for me, and is Freddy versus Jason. It's not, this is in. Hey, I'll watch it, and it really used to be. I will never want to watch it again. I used this. I used our review on. You can see that again, by the way, on don'tgooutthere.com. But our review of Freddy vs. Jason to get a lot off my chest, and now I can sit with a clear conscience and watch it. So number 17 for me is Freddy vs. Jason.
First of all, I want to start off by saying fuck Nico. And second of all,
Wow.
I want to say my number 17 is Jason Goes to Hell. Is this movie great? No, obviously. But I do think it's entertaining. Like Brian mentioned, when you go through the entire Friday marathon, it's a lot of the same formula over and over and over again. Same with so when you watch them in, you need something to kind of come along and shake things up. And Jason Goes to Hell definitely does that. It's not a great film. I'm not saying that, but I do think it's almost so bad that it's good. It's one of those entertainingly bad movies. I love the character of Creighton Duke. He's awesome. That's another reason. I actually like the look of Jason. I'm the only one in the whole world that likes the look of Jason in this movie. I think it's kind of cool and different, but whatever. But it also ends with Freddy's glove coming out of the ground, grabbing the Jason mask, which that immediately bumps it up just for that end scene for me. And I don't like the fact that we're inserting characters that were there the whole time as, being a Voorhees sibling or whatever. I'm not a big fan of that. But outside of that, I think it's an entertainingly bad movie. So that's why it's a little higher than the others.
Matt, I'm going to need you to relax. Going to need you to relax on the order rush.
So here's the thing. I said that 18 was the cutoff for the movies that suck ass. Now, what I'm about to say is going to strike you as odd, but I think this movie is a bad movie. But when I said suck ass, it means I don't care to watch it. You can listen to how we reviewed this next one, and you'll know all my flaws that I have with it, and I gave it a 5. But Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, coming in at number 17 for me because I will watch it. It is entertaining.
That's fine.
But I acknowledge it's a steaming pile of donkey shit. So.
All right, Dustin, you ready to watch the 2 above me get really mad? And it's not intentional. All right, my next choice is a significantly better made movie. It's original. All right, 17 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Okay.
Nancy's great. Seeing Robert and Wes in the movie is great. The remake of Tina's Kill is great. I'm just not the biggest meta horror fan. I've said that. And I think the movie's a little too long. Fair. It's almost like 2 hours. They could cut out some of it.
I understand if you don't like meta. That's
fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's
Well, thank you, Heather, for
that's a
joining
taste
us on the
thing.
show.
I was going to say you can find the interview with Heather Langenkamp on don'tgoouthere.com.
My number 16 is Friday the 13th Part 7. I've got the mask behind me. It's my favorite look of Jason. If I think of Jason, this is what pops in my head. Is his look in this movie. I hate the fact that they, for some dumbass reason, put it set in the year 2000, but yet everything's in it's from 1988. And I really don't like the whole supernatural storyline with Tina. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. I really even have it this high to watch it and enjoy it simply because of how badass Kane Hodder and Jason looks in this movie, if I'm being honest with you. So number 16, Friday the 13th, Part 7. Yeah, Joe has it, number 1.
Okay. Oh, my God. Joe, what? I'm so sorry about what I said earlier, but whew. Anyway, my number 16 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I think this movie gets a little more heat than it deserves. I don't think it's and I understand what you're saying, Brian. If it's not for you, I get it. And as a man, it should make portrayal is written so weird. But I like that it dives into Laurie Strode with basically SD or whatever you want to call that. You know, she's going through a lot because she just went through a lot, and we get to see the aftermath of that. I actually like the story. Now, it's got a lot of Rob Zombie white trash I'm not a fan of, but significantly less than the Rob Zombie Halloween. So I will say that. I like the look of Myers in this movie. Most people don't. I think Loomis is a negative in this movie. I hate the way they did Loomis. I don't like Sheriff Zombie being in here. I know he's contractually obligated to put his wife in the fucking movie, but it's stupid. The white horse is stupid, all that. But I like a lot of what they do. I don't think it's bad. I think the kills are great in this movie. So that's why it's at number 16. It's not good, but I don't think it's bad either. It's right at that middle line for me.
All right. So, boy, you got me all discombobulated there. My number 16, here's a hot take, fellas. You ready?
OG Nightmare.
I'm gonna have all three of y'all like, what? Yeah,
OG Nightmare.
1984's Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. I'm just not a big fan of the franchise. I've said that from the beginning. I will watch a Halloween or a Friday the 13th movie over Freddy Krueger any day of the week. And that's not to take away from Robert Englund. It's just, it's hokey. It's hokey. Even Serious Freddy to me is like, come on, you're going to invade his dreams? Like, the whole concept to me is just not my thing. But that's all.
That's fair.
Hey, it's a preference thing. I'm not mad. Number 16 for me is Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. It's got some pretty decent kills. It does stink that it's not really Jason. It's Roy, the paramedic, and his son got killed. That's what happens when you eat chocolate bars too much. So watch out for Halloween, everybody. Don't eat too many chocolate bars and do the laundry. You might get an axe to the back by a crazy person. But shout out to Deborah Voorhees, friend of the show. It's got one of my favorite kills in the movie, in the franchise, honestly, in this movie with the belt kill against a tree. That's an awful way to die. That's an awful way to die, guys. But this is about the middle of the pack. This is an entertaining movie. It's a frustrating movie that it's not Jason, but it's entertaining. And damn those enchiladas.
All right. All right. Well, my number 15 is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. I'm well aware I like this better. Just from our Friday our Nightmare rankings, I'm well aware that I like this a little bit more than you guys. Mostly just because of how fucking dark Freddy is. I think Robert Englund was at his, one of his best. I think he was fucking amazing in that film. And so like we're getting towards the top. I've got about 4 more before I get into the love section category, but I will definitely pop in Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and watch it.
what you're saying is Freddy Krueger, aka Robert Englund, was sorry. Okay. No, thought we were being hip on this show, guys. My number 15 is Friday the 13th Part 2. First of all, hashtag Team Sack. That's one thing. Fucking love Sackhead Jason. Think it's scary. I'm totally fine with it. Especially in another movie, which I'm gonna wait to get. But I actually like the portrayal of Jason, and some people don't. That's fine. I understand. But I love the final of this movie. I like the plot of this movie. It takes what they did in Part 1 and made it a little better for me. And so that's probably why I like it more than Part 1. I just think it did a little bit more to establish the characters. And they kind of invented the trope of killing off a character from the previous film early on, and they kind of invented that trope here. So that's kind of cool, and why I like it. I just think it's a fun little slasher movie. I have no problem with it. The effects are just okay, which I know most people, but the pitchfork kill and all that stuff is kind of cool. But it's got some good. I don't hate it like Nico does.
All right, so my number 15, I'm going to go with Halloween 2 from 1981. For some of the same things that Nico said earlier, like just the way that the storyline is introduced. Did they need to follow up Part 1 the way that they did? I don't think so. They didn't have to take it that direction with them being related and everything. Maybe not. It's an okay movie. 15 and up. We're getting into movies that I'll watch with no hesitation. So it's fine, but just is what it is.
Number 15 for me is Friday the 13th Part 3. I like Mike said, I'm very critical of the special effects. They look awful, especially the head squeeze and the eye pop out. That's terrible looking. I'm a big fan of I'm a fan of the final girl. She's pretty good.
Like fish gut.
Yeah, the final girl, she's pretty good. She's very attractive as well too in the movie. Decent kills.
Call me sometime.
And my favorite kill in that movie is Richard Brooker, right? Whenever he shoots the girl in the eye with the harpoon, then just walks off. Yeah. He just shoots her, just walks off, no big deal. I love that kill. It's hilarious to me. But yeah, number 15, Part 3, Friday the 13th.
And yeah, Shan, we're gonna try to get to Trick or Treat as soon as possible. I'm actually looking forward to watching that movie.
Highly recommend it.
What's that? Oh yeah.
Nico highly recommends it. Yeah.
Highly. It's on his most top 10 to watch in Halloween.
Yeah. I'm about to. Hey, if you shit on another one of my movies, I'm selling you out about that.
You're about to get outed. It sounds like. All right. Anyway, okay. No, number 14 for me is Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I kind of went into this in my Friday ranking or my Nightmare rankings, but it kind of gets a little bit into, or it starts the jokey Freddy. I think Lisa Wilcox is good in this movie. It's okay. It's not bad. That's why it's about halfway on my list. So number 14, Nightmare 4.
Here comes some controversy, at least with most people, because everything 15 and up is movies that I can enjoy and watch anytime and have no problem with. But again, this is a little bit like another movie I mentioned a couple slots ago, where I know that it's bad. I enjoy it for certain things. My number 14, Jason X. I love the kills in Jason X. Is the reason it's high. I think the corkscrew kill where he freezes her face and then shatters it. That's a cool kill. There's a lot sleeping bag kill. There's three awesome kills in one film. Is not that it doesn't happen that often. Only one movie on this list has all great kills. So I think that this movie is entertaining. The concept is stupid, yes. But once we get past the fact that the concept is stupid, we're actually setting that the poster promised, like in Manhattan, we spend our whole time on a fucking boat. In this movie, at least we're in fucking space the whole time. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It was going to be. Okay.
At least we're in
a space shuttle is much better than a boat.
It is. And they did a much better job making the film. The kills there's characters. There's a robot lady that not the worst looking robot lady. I mean, come on, man. There's a lot to like about this movie. Look, I acknowledge that it's bad. It's very, very bad. But I enjoy it for what it is. So that's
Wait a minute.
my number
Wait
14.
a minute. Sean Irwin just said Jason X is the best Friday movie.
Calm down. Relax.
Sean, I need you to calm down, buddy. I need you to just bring it down a little bit.
Hey, let my guy live.
Wow.
All right.
I want some of what he's taking.
Justin.
Yeah, we're on a little bit of a stretch here for Halloween movies. 14 for me is Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers. I can't tell you how thrilled I was that he came back and saved me from another season of The Witch. But I think it's actually a really enjoyable movie. I remember Mike and I hadn't actually seen that one. Because growing up, I never watched all of the Halloween movies like I did some of the other franchises. And so I'd never seen this movie until a few months ago. Mike and I watched it and texted about it. I actually really enjoyed the movie. It's a movie that I hope we review in detail one day, because it's got a lot of redeeming qualities to me, but not quite as many. You know, if Rob Zombie wrote it, it'd be way higher.
I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed, but during quarantine, me and Destin had movie dates together.
We did.
I had a couple with y'all, but not as many. Hey, Mike. Number 14 for me is Jason X.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not a great movie, but it's entertaining. It's different. Like he said, great kills with the frozen face. The sleeping bag kills awesome. I think it's kind of cool how he slices the holographic guys in half, and it's kind of a joke to him. I think it's kind of entertaining and fun. And it's got Peter Mensa in it for me. Onomaeus from Spartacus, one of my favorite characters from a TV show. And shout out to Spartacus, Manu Bennett. We're trying to get you on the show if you're listening. But Jason X, this is probably Kane Hodder's second best performance to me of his 4 movies, behind Part 7. So I don't hate Jason X nowhere near as bad as other people do.
So you come to horror movies to find something that's funny, entertaining, and fun.
Wow.
The two guys above me like Scream. So what's the difference?
A lot.
I'm just kidding.
A lot.
I'm about to say, Scream, a much better film. Don't you dare ever say that.
Hey, Jason in space is still scarier than Billy's mom.
No, it's not.
No,
Brian, please go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, go watch the fucking Terminator if you want to see that shit, because that's about, that's what you have, and except that's actually on Earth. All right, so shit, I don't even know where I'm at. All right,
13.
number 13. By the way,
hey, you ain't gotta get all hot about it, Brian.
No, I was laughing because Shan just posted that him being in space makes about as much sense as a dog pissing on fire and bringing Freddy back. I mean, again, at least that's on Earth. I don't know. Anyway, all right. I'm talking shit about that. And then my number 13 is Jason Goes to Hell. And
oh boy,
like I said, this movie is
nice.
You can take the nostalgia and slap it in my face, because that's what this is for me. Slap it all over my face. It's the movie that got me into horror. I think that Jason it's his second best look to me, and I know what all went behind the scenes, but you guys do too now because of Adam Marcus. So anyway, number 13 for me is Jason Goes to Hell. That mask.
You can find the Adam Marcus interview at don'tthere.com.
Don't go out there.
That's right. All right, so my number 13 is Friday the 13th, Part 4. And I'll be honest, I thought the higher, but I really do like 13 and up a lot. So this is not a knock that it's all the way down at 13. I just did up that way because a couple Friday movies here above it that I like more than I did when we did the Friday rankings. But I still enjoy really. It takes the Friday the 13th at the best out of the first 4, those original 4. Same formulaic plot. It does it the awesome character of Tommy Jarvis. You get he's killing me. You get that line. That's great. Nice moves. That's awesome. You get a lot of good, man. love the final chapter. I think it's awesome. I think it's got a great Jason, and it's a lot of fun, man. I could pop that in anytime and have a really fun time with it. And it has some genuinely scary scenes. And I know that's hard to do when you're on your fourth movie, but I think there's some good actual scares in that movie that you don't get from some of the later sequels. So, Friday the 13th 4.
So if there's two things that listeners and you guys know about me is that I'm a big fan of David Arquette.
Rob Zombie and David Arquette.
And Rob Zombie. So checking into number 13, we got Halloween Part 2 from 2009. Rob Zombies. It's a fantastic film. Go ahead.
All right, 13, or my next 4 or 5 picks, I'm going to get roasted for, which is totally fine. I get picked on for the movies I haven't watched and the movies I have watched. I'm used to it, but I still love all 3 of you. Number 13 is a movie that we reviewed I'd say 2 months ago. I'm not going to go into great detail. Friday 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
All right. My number 12.
That's right, Crystal. Rob Zombie.
And you're right, Joe. The OG sleeping bag kill was in Part 7, so it's not even the best part of 10 because it was copied from 7. All right. Anyway, so number 12 for me is Halloween 2, the original from 1981, the real Halloween 2. Sorry. There's a lot that I don't like about this movie, but I have it in my top 12 because I really enjoy, especially watching it back to back with Part 1, being that's in the same night. I think that I hate the part where Loomis shoots him in the eyes because I think that he's way too good of a crack shot, and that's a reference to Back to the Future Part 2. Anyway, so number 12 is my Halloween 2, 1981.
Brian, we finally agree again. Same. My number 12, 81. For a lot of the reasons you said, I actually like the fact that it continues in the same night as Halloween. But I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that plot line. I'm a fan of that mythology. So I'm more than someone that might not be. Now, this movie could use more Laurie Strode, but again, it's 1981, and so it's just kind of there in the corner a couple times, and then at the end towards the hospital. But this movie has more gore than the original. Some is done well, some is not done so well. But I like the continuation of I think it's entertaining. The best way to consume Halloween 2 is right after watching the original from 1978. That's probably your best way to enjoy that. If you watch it as a standalone, it's a little funky, but I like that. Amazing Grace, come sit on my face. That whole thing. It's funny. Makes me laugh. Can't help it.
Hey, by the way, the part about Halloween 2 that stands out to me the most, and it has since I was a little kid, and it still does, is the little kid walking into the hospital that had just eaten an apple with a razor blade in it. That is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Just let you.
My number 12 is Friday the 13th, Part 2. You get Team Sack. It's not quite as good as the original movie. Nico's out of his mind. But we get introduced to Jason. I like the opening sequence, the carryover from Alice. She's kind of paranoid and having flashbacks in the opening kill. And then it just really sets the tone for the rest of the franchise because we see Jason's really about that action all the time. So I like it.
About that action, boss.
That's right.
All right, coming in at number 12 for me is a movie that I like, but we're going to be reviewing it tomorrow. So I'm going to let some things. I'll get into what my pros and cons of this movie tomorrow. It's Halloween H2O.
It's pretty high ranking. That's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So getting into my last one, number 11. This is my last one of this second tier. Of the it's not bad. I'll watch it. I enjoy sitting down and eating some popcorn and watching it. But number 11, that's for me. It's Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives. This one actually dropped a lot for me. Well, it only dropped like one spot in the Friday rankings, but it dropped for me overall after our review. And that happens. Some of these movies, like we go really in depth and we kind of go, God, that's not what I remember when I watched that last time. But it's the cheesy parts. We kind of went into a lot of in depth into this one, so I won't too much. But anyway, in number 11, Friday the 13th, Part 6.
facing the tree. But anyway, that's yeah, I'm with you, bro. Again, I enjoy all my movies from 15 up, but here's number 11 and number 10. You could kind of interchange those two, and I enjoy them about the same. My number 11 is Freddy versus Jason. We reviewed this in depth, so I don't have to say everything that I need to say again, but I love the ending of this movie. It delivers a battle between Freddy versus Jason, and I love those scenes. I think they're really, really good. Everything that comes before that, I'm not a huge fan of. I'm just not. It's okay. It's not, I wouldn't consider it bad. I like I like how they get Jason to Elm Street, but it's just there's a lot of acting and a lot of stuff I just didn't like. But we went in depth on it. But I enjoy it. I can watch it. It's recommended it on my Halloween movies for a reason, and it's because it's a great movie to just pop in and enjoy around this time of year because it delivers on Freddy versus Jason. That's why it's number 11.
Number 11 for me is going to be Friday the 13th, Part 3. I get what you're saying about you've never seen it in 3D. I have. I've seen it on a 3D TV.
That's cool.
It is what it is. It doesn't really add much to it, but it does make those scenes that you're talking about, though, how it's something slow coming towards the camera,
right.
It makes them a little cooler. But this is the film in the franchise where he finds his trademark. He gets the hockey mask, and I've been vocal about it being my favorite franchise of these three. Actually, second favorite horror franchise in general. And this one, if you didn't have the hockey mask, people would probably think his name is Jason Myers or something. So,
all right.
Awesome.
Coming in at number 11 is a movie that kind of moved up my rankings a little bit, especially after we reviewed it and we had a really good discussion about it. Is Rob Zombie's 2007 Halloween. The first half I'm still not a fan of, honestly. The white trashy part I don't like that at all. But Tyler Mane is I love his portrayal as Michael Myers. It's a new concept of Michael Myers. He's big, he's brutal, he's hulking and intimidating. I love that. And
he's
like
Jason.
Like Brian mentioned, I love the three girls too. Scout, Danielle Harris, and Christina Klebe. They were great in their roles. It's a little too long at the end, I think, but I think those three girls and Tyler, we met them. Me and Mike took a picture with them. They were great. Those four made the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Crystal, Horror Nights In podcast. She just commented, Halloween water, you mean? Talking about Halloween H2O. Yeah, and actually, it's the 7th film in the franchise, and H2O is the chemical symbol for water, which has a pH balance of 7. So there's a fun fact for you there, Crystal. All right, so top 10 for me are these movies. Now we're into these movies I love. Number 10 for me is the theatrical version of Halloween 6. I love by the way, the producer's cut is the biggest. That I would rank that probably number 30 or 31 even. That is the biggest piece of shit movie I've ever seen in my life is the producer's cut of that movie. Do not ever waste your time to watch that producer's cut. And if you hate this one, you really hate the other one. But I love Halloween 6 gets one thing. It's one of the best entries in the franchise for atmosphere, which I really love. It does Halloween really well in that movie and fall. There's a lot that I like about it. We'll review it, I guess, at some point, whenever I feel like fighting everybody else on the show, which sometimes I'm just tired and I'm old and don't feel like fighting it. So I don't know.
Sorry, brother.
Anyway, number 10 for me is the theatrical cut of Halloween 6.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we had right there, buddy. My 10 is Halloween Water, the movie that we'll be reviewing tomorrow night. I will save my thought on that movie, but there's a lot that I like, and there's some things I have some big gripes with, especially after most recent watch. But I think it's an enjoyable sequel to the first two. If you remove all the Cult of Thorns stuff and resurrect a nice little bow on that Laurie Strode timeline is what you get. I think it's good, and I'm ready to talk about it tomorrow. I'll save my thoughts though. But how was my number 10?
It's a really quick watch too. It's not long either, so that's another good thing about it.
Yeah, I love it for that. I love it for that. It doesn't take very long to watch it. And
shortest. I think it's the shortest in the
when I
whole
watch
franchise.
stuff, I have the DVD. Right. Watch it to take notes. I'm watching at speed. So it took me like 4 minutes to watch the whole movie.
I have that substantially lower than the rest of you three, so tomorrow should be fun. The best part of that movie is Alan Arkin. Let's just be real. Number 10 for me is my man Rob Zombie's initial take on
Josh
the Halloween
Hartnett,
franchise.
out of here.
But Josh Hartnett can go to hell.
Hey, Josh Hartnett is one of the greatest horror movie survivors ever.
That was harsh. I was
And 30 Days a
emotionally
Night,
sorry.
survived Michael Myers.
I was being emotional. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Number 10 for me is Halloween 2007, Rob Zombie's initial take on the franchise. You talk about a cast. Scout is beautiful. Sherry Moon Zombie, beautiful. Danielle Harris, beautiful. And it has friend of the show and my personal favorite interview we've done, Lou Temple.
Yes.
Like you said, Nico, the first half of the movie is what it is. You don't like it. I'm actually very fond of the whole movie. So there's nitpicks and stuff. If I haven't reviewed that one, but with being critical, but I do have my nitpicks. But yeah, Rob Zombie, man, top 10 all time.
All right. I'm ready to see about 3 faces go sour. And every listener, number 10 is Halloween Resurrection for me. I've been very vocal about disliking so much Laurie Strode. We finally got a movie that was brave enough to get rid of her, and it had a cool concept. I enjoy this movie. It's a fun watch to me, and I have no problem standing in the paint defending it.
Okay. All right.
Trick or treat.
Wow.
Hey, Nico.
And soon to be friend of the show, hopefully Katie Sackhoff will be joining us.
Yeah, from Oculus, not from Halloween.
Yeah, but she's another.
From Oculus.
I'm about to say from Oculus. We're not even going to bring that dog shit. Anyway, go ahead.
And it did not have the balls to kill Jamie Lee Curtis. That was her idea, by the way. So anyway, all right.
Well, still got rid of her.
Number 9, Friday the 13th, Part 4. For
Only
me.
because they had to, brother.
I'll take what I can get from that uncreative franchise.
Oh, geez.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
they put a whole mythology
boat,
in it. They were creative.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Riding a boat is creative. Go ahead, Brian.
Speaking of very uncreative franchises, my second. It's number 9 overall on this list, but my second favorite Friday the 13th movie. So that's where we're at here with this. But Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. We went into pretty big review of this already before, but and I like it. Obviously, it's in my top 10. It's just I like 8 other movies better.
Mm-hmm.
My number 9 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I love this movie. I think it's really cool. The concept. I'm a big fan of meta. The reason Mike loves meta is a thing. Take all the meta and slap it all in my face because it's one of my favorite subgenres of any movie. To just be so self-aware of what's going on within. I like the idea. There are 6 I have with. We get Freddy. We get as Freddy. That's kind of wonky. Necessarily love runtime. It's a little bloated, but other than that, I really, really like as a movie. I love it. It's not a great movie, but I think it's a good horror movie, and that line's kind of hard to hold, but it's number 9 for me. I'm glad because I think it's great.
My number 9 is right in line with Brian's. It's Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter.
Big jump.
It did have a big jump. I was wrong initially. That was the first episode you guys. One of the first episodes you guys had me on for was the ranking of Friday the 13th, and like I said, I go back and listen. I said it's just I don't watch it as often as the others, so I don't know why. It just doesn't stand out to me. Well, I did rewatch it multiple times since then, and I was wrong, but still don't like that it's called the final chapter, and we got 8 films after that. Whatever. Yeah, great movie though.
And I'm not sure
So you're saying
I'm not sure which one you're talking about, Sean Irwin, but which Halloween 2? But you're incorrect. All right, go ahead.
So you're saying the movie tagline should deliver on what it's in, correct?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you.
You got to let Dustin have that. He admitted that it was crap. So you got to lay off Dustin with it, man.
I know.
When have you guys ever heard me admit that I was wrong about something? I'm coming to you for the first time ever, being vulnerable, and you're just going to shit on me?
This is why we can't have nice things around here. God damn it, Mike.
All right. Number 9 for me. Shout out to a friend of the show, Joe Larson. I'm sure she's listening. It's Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. I really enjoy this movie. Like Brian said, Kane Hodder, he's awesome in this movie. The look is phenomenal. It's one or two. It's top 2 for looks for me, for Jason. I actually enjoy Tina, Laura Park Lincoln's portrayal of her telekinesis or whatever. I enjoy the end fight with them at the end. You know, she's shooting nails into his head and all that. It's enjoyable. And like Mike said, after you watch so many of these Fridays over and over, at least 7, 8, 9, and 10, they're all different. You can't argue that they're not different from 1 through 6 or whatever. So,
right.
But I enjoy Kane and Laura Park Lincoln's final battle a lot. I enjoy it. Excuse me. The MPAA is really the reason why this movie's not as brutal as it should be, because that, like Joe said, that's when we get the sleeping bag kill. That's an awesome kill. All the kills are right when it happens. They just cut away. So the MPA kind of affected. I think that would have been a lot higher for us if it would have been the gory, bloody movie it should have been.
All right, my number 4. My number 8. You can see it up there. Is Halloween 4. I understand, and we'll get into it because we will review this one because I think it's one of the best Halloween movies that there is out there. Obviously, I got it ranked number 8 overall, but I understand that the mask isn't good, but I also like that there's an in-movie, in-universe explanation for that. So whereas they're not just throwing some random bullshit mask on for no reason, at least there's an explanation for that that's in continuity. So I really like pretty much everything about this movie, especially the enclosed. Hey, this is all in one space for the most part in the ending house there with the sheriff's house, I believe. And Anyway, Halloween 4, number 8.
Yeah, Brian, we agree again. But my number 8 is Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. I love this movie. I think it does. It's almost like a remake with a twist of the original one. They get the atmosphere right. They get fall right. It feels like a Halloween movie. I love the character of Jamie Lloyd. Danielle Harris was a great child actor. She killed that role to me. I think that's an awesome job from her. I like Loomis in this. After that, they really make him a terrible character. But I think this is the last good movie with Loomis. And I love the characters and invest in these characters. I could see someone's complaint that it's a little slow, that it's a little too much like Halloween 78. I could see that. But I love the twist ending. Great. The fact that 5 didn't follow up on it makes me want to say, fuck that movie and anyone involved in it. Because the end of 4 is so good that that's why I hate 5 so much. It just shits all over. So I love Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Really, honestly, I could put it higher, but there's a couple things I like about the next movies more.
So my number 8 is Freddy versus Jason. Now, the funny thing about this is that if you go back and listen to our episode, I was pretty critical of a lot of it. I wasn't too kind to the movie. I gave it I think a 5 or 5.5. And then when we did the rankings of The Nightmare on Elm Street, I had it number 1.
You ranked it number 1, yeah.
Tells you how much I appreciate that franchise. I did move it down some in these rankings upon further review, but it's, it does have its flaws, but it also has Kelly Rowland. She's not bad to look at, and it even though she can't act at all. And you get Jason versus Freddy, some pretty cool fight scenes that have a lot. Now it still irritates me, the little Alice in Wonderland caterpillar when he's smoking weed like that still irritates the shit out of me. The way that people just fly all over the place when they're hit still irritates shit out of me. But I enjoy the movie. I'll watch it anytime it's on. Maybe depending on what else.
All right, number 8 for me. I know I've been kind of jokey with everyone, but I haven't really done like any tiers. But 8 through number 1 are movies that I truly love. Like there's a big between 9 and 8 for me. Coming at number 8 for me is Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. This is a great movie. Dream Warriors and the OG both have the same problem. The endings aren't good to me. Dream Warriors has Nancy Thompson part 2 again. She's matured. She's a dream expert in the hospital trying to help these kids. Awesome. The kills in this movie are awesome outside of the wizard kill. That one stinks. But the puppet kill, awesome. Primetime bitch, awesome. And Taryn's kill is awesome. Dream Warriors is a great movie. And I know Mike loves the theme song. We are the Dream Warriors. It's Dream Warriors is a great movie.
Great song.
Hey, coming in for me, number 7. Welcome to prime time, bitch. It's Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and we went really in depth with it. What a lot of what Nico said, I agree with. I really hate what they did with Nancy's dad at the end of that. And fucking skeleton, like stop motion skeleton Freddy. I hate. Yeah, number 7, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I still have a couple more Nightmare on Elm Streets ahead of it, but it's holding steady at my my Nightmare rankings from earlier.
Okay. 7, 13th part 6. Jason Lives. I really enjoy this movie. It's a lot of fun, and I know we're supposed to be aired. This movie doesn't take itself too seriously, and I like it for that. This is what it is. There's a damn 007 shot where they put Jason in the little zoom hole that 007 does. Like, that's kind of fun. So there's there's a lot of good kills in this movie. No nudity, which is weird for a Friday the 13th movie, but I can forgive it. I like the plot. I like the Tommy Jarvis character. Just a really fun slasher movie that I have a really good time with. And there's some legitimately scary scenes. The minute you involve kids at a summer camp, like that was like a lot of that. I like a lot of the tension there in those scenes. So really fun watch. Friday the 13th part 6.
Coming in number 7 for me, I'm going to go with Halloween 2018. I thought it was a breath of fresh air. Going back to its roots from I like the Rob Zombie ones, but it's more true to the original, to the origins. Obviously, it has Jamie Lee Curtis reprise her role, but then also the rest of the cast. I'm a big Judy Greer fan. Will Patton's in the film. There's some good names, good actors in this film. Will Patton is awesome, and I think that it did a good job of reinvigorating my interest in the franchise. And had they not, it's easy to fumble the bag. It's easy to reprise a franchise and drop the ball. But 2018 didn't do that. They delivered. And I'm, sad that, we got the delay. We were supposed to have already got the next installment, but damn you. We'll say it one more time. Fuck you, COVID.
We're supposed to all see it together. Damn it.
That's right.
Yeah.
We will.
So we're supposed to all see it. Yeah. Yep.
All right, coming in at number 7 for me is a movie that I'm curious to see where it's at on Brian's list. But number 7 for me is a 2009 Friday the 13th reboot, not remake. I think this movie, if you watch it, like I said with the Rob Zombie 2 Halloween, if you look at this as a standalone and you just try not to think about the entire rest of the Friday the 13th franchise, and you try not to think how the hell did he run all these wires and all that for these tunnels and all that, it's a great movie. It's I can't really call it an opening scene because it's damn near 25, 30 minutes. But when we first meet Jason, he's running at these kids. He is brutal as hell in this movie. Derek Mears is, and it's funny because Derek Mears is one of the nicest guys we met.
Yes, he is.
But this is Rob Zombie Jason. If Rob Zombie did a Jason movie, Derek Mears would be the guy because he killed the hell out of these people. Really, really enjoyable movie. Yeah, it's great.
He killed the hell out of them.
He killed the hell out of them.
He did.
In the spaghetti death house.
And the tits were stupendous, baby. Perfect nipple placement.
Perfect.
And he rode the fuck out of that big wheel. Anyway, sorry.
I love that movie. All right, so my number six, and I'll get into it more tomorrow. Well, I guess whenever we release it, but we're recording it tomorrow, is Halloween H2O, and I will 100% tell everyone why they are wrong for not putting this behind Halloween 6 and this is the 7th in the franchise. It does not go 1, 2, and H2O, and I will tell you why tomorrow. Listen, tune in.
Okay. All right, that's fine. My number 6 is Rob Zombie's Halloween. I'm going to come out and acknowledge that this movie is so hyped for nostalgic purposes. That's it. It's the movie that got me back into horror. It introduced me to the franchise. It's the reason that I have it so high. I'm not going to lie. This is the one that I said earlier kind of goes against everything I said. I don't think it's a great movie. I really don't. But I can watch this anytime and have a lot. Just really watch. It's brutal. It's scary. It's gory. I like the second half a lot. I love Sam Loomis in this movie. He does a great job. Malcolm McDowell, I keep wanting to call him Michael McDowell, and I don't want to have to say like Michael McDowell on live stream for everybody, so let's not do that. But it's Malcolm McDowell, greatest Loomis. I think I was great. I don't love the white trash upbringing. I think that's unnecessary. But Sherry Moon is good in this movie. I think Tyler good, Michael Myers as well. There's just a lot that I like, but I nitpicked it to death on our review because it means a lot to me. So it's just because of how important it is as far as my horror movie history goes.
Okay. My number 6, I'm going to go with Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. I think that it's not the highest rated Nightmare film I have. First of all, I do want to say that. There's going to be a surprise one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But for the original run of Nightmare films, we'll say, it's the most enjoyable for me. Brian already knows. He's shaking his head. He knows. But it's got, I think that it's got the best storyline. It's got the best, the most iconic line in the franchise. I think. Welcome to Primetime. We've run that in the ground, sure, but I think that it's probably the best of the original run.
All right, number 6 for me is Wes Craven's original 1984 A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wow.
Great movie. We went into detail about this movie in a review and on our rankings list. I don't need to say too much. Some of the best kills, Tina's kill, absolutely amazing. We get the birth of a new slasher icon with Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. He's awesome in this movie. The opening scene with Tina, one of my top 5 favorite opening scenes ever. I love the movie. And Heather Langenkamp was great as the final girl, Nancy Thompson, in this movie.
Yeah, and we've had 4 intros done by people on just that movie. And 3 interviews from that, which is tremendous, absolutely amazing. Anyway, so my number 5, and
incredible.
If you go back and listen to my Halloween rankings, I've really changed these up a lot because I've already said H2O the last time, and that was my number 1 Halloween movie before. This one I really had a lot of heartburn with, but I got a lot of that out during the review, and I still think Laurie Strode should have been the one to drunk drive, and instead of making a scene at dinner, wrecked that bus that freed Michael Myers. Then you would have had a whole nother level of, she has to live with the fact that she has now caused all these killings that come later. So I think they missed the boat on that. But my number 5 is Halloween 2018.
Okay. My
Nice,
number 5, top five. And by the way, top 5 is brought to you by Manscaped. Don't forget to go to Manscaped and use the code DON'T GO, 20% off plus free shipping. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, top 5. Number 5 is A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984, the original classic. I love this movie. It's awesome. It's got Scary Freddy. We went over in details going, but I love Heather Langenkamp. I love Robert Englund. I think it's really good, well made. That's why it's in my top 5. It's just because of how good of a movie it is from top to bottom. As far as score is underrated. This film, I think it's scary, and I think this movie is just great. Like Nico said, the ending kind of bumps it down for me, but I'm willing to forgive it. It's a really enjoyable movie. So scary to this day are some of those scenes. So that testament of how good of a movie it really is. Not A Nightmare on Elm Street, number 5.
Number 5 for me, Sean, I'm not crazy or I'm not insane, whatever adjective you used. Number 5 for me is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That's right, Brian. I've seen The Light Brother. I really like this movie.
Nice. It's so good.
I really,
yes,
I've come. It
awesome,
really
bro.
is. Heather Langenkamp is fantastic, and she looks phenomenal in this movie. Miko Hughes is one of the best child actors of my childhood, right? I mean, from Kindergarten Cop to being Gage in Pet Sematary to this. I love him as a child actor.
Yep,
I love everything about this movie. The take on meta and Wes Craven himself being in the movie just adds to it. Robert knocked it out of the park yet again. Maybe his best. No, probably not. But probably not his best job as Freddy or the Demon, whatever you want to call it. But I really enjoyed New Nightmare, and I'm not sorry about it, Nico.
That's fine. It's a very influential, trend-setting movie. I don't discount that. Yep. My number 5 is a movie that we've all 5 through 1 are movies we've all reviewed already. Number 5 is Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. My favorite portrayal of quote unquote human Jason. I'm losing my Ted White. He did great. I love Corey Feldman. Crispin Glover, don't be a dead fuck. And I actually watched Back to the Future today for the first time. George McFly, Crispin Glover. You know, the funny thing is these guys tell me to watch all these movies that I haven't seen yet. And I watched Goonies, I watched Stand By Me, I watch Back to the Future, and I see like these people from Friday the 13th, and it makes it mean more to me, honestly. I really enjoyed Crispin Glover's portrayal in Back to the Future. That has nothing to do with this movie, but this movie has a great cast besides Jason. One of the best cast of characters. Corey Feldman was absolutely phenomenal as child Tommy Jarvis. I really like the final chapter. It's a great movie. Yes,
I think you admitting that you just watched that just probably got the biggest reaction from everybody in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. My favorite part of this episode has been you admitting to everyone how many of those classic movies you just named that you saw for the first time recently. I love it.
I'm still think you're missing out on a great podcast. Be able to watch and review movies that you've never seen, and people will tune in just because they cannot believe that you have not seen it. Anyway, yeah.
Money making machine there, brother.
Unnecessary bullying.
And you'll see another one that has shifted gears with me. My new, and these 3, I've done these 3 Halloween movies that I've just now done have shifted. I'm not the same person I was yesterday, and these things have shifted and move around just depending on the day. So Halloween 78, the original, is right now it's my favorite one, favorite Halloween movie. So it's number 4 on my list here. Nick Castle, thank you for doing that interview. Thank you for doing the intro to the show, friend of the show. There's not a whole lot you can say to it. Go listen to it. It's the second episode that we've done. So hey, it's
have your
great.
Volume up.
So what? Oh, turn the volume up.
Have your volume up.
Well, it's fixed to a degree. It's fixed to a degree. I think that honestly, great. I've seen this movie so many flipping times that I get tired of it, and there's not. It's one of the few that I do kind of get tired of watching if I've seen it a million times. I have not seen this in a while, so that's why it's moving up my list. That's just how I am.
That's fair. Okay. My number is this is the highest Friday the 13th movie I have. This is the last Friday movie. My number 4 is Friday the 13th, the reboot from 2009. I fucking love this movie. It's awesome. Jason is brutal. I love the portrayal from I always want to call him Jason Mears. That's how fucking good he is, Jason. I just want to replace the name. He's great. I think they kind of smushed the original 3 in one collection of scenes. I think awesome. I love all of that. And and kind of like you said, Nico, if you can forget some of the stuff, why is he helping? I think they kind of extent where it reminds him of his mom. And that's why she's being captive. I mean, if you believe that, that's fine. But I love this movie. All the kills are great. Even the supposed to hate Trent, who's a complete douchebag and really annoying. And I know that's normally a nitpick of mine, but no, he does it so well that I'm ready to see him die. When he does, it's awesome. And so I just think it's really atmosphere, the tone, and shot really well. I love this movie. It also has my favorite Jason, which is Derek Mears.
Well, and I would like to say that I think during the Friday rankings, you had that either 2 or 3. So I don't know whether it's a reason or not, but I will take credit for you moving that to your favorite Friday movie. And by the way, Matt, go ahead. I don't
remember when I did that Friday the 13th watch long. I watched every Friday movie in a row. That's what. Sorry, but listen, I watched those Friday movies. That is the reason that Friday Open is now number 1. Is because Brian was absolutely right about this movie. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, coming at number 4 for me is also the Friday 13th, 2009 reboot. I'm not going to go back and rehash all the things that you guys have said about it. The only issue that I have with the film is that I want another. It was too good of a reboot for there not to be more in the, a follow-up, and we're not going to get into that. So go ahead.
All right. Number 4 for me
That's a whole
is it's number 4, but it's going to be considered low to a lot of people. John Carpenter's iconic horror movie, Halloween, 1978. Hard to really pick any flaws of this movie outside of the kills. Were kind of meh, but this was the very first one. Not a big fan of Annie's acting in some of it, but when you want to watch a horror movie with atmosphere, score, new concept, cinematography, iconic shots, this movie has more iconic shots in it than I could think of than any of the movies above it. I mean, I can't pick any movies I have ranked above it that has more iconic shots, a better score. It's aged a little bit, but absolutely phenomenal movie. It's great. I really can't say nothing bad about it. It's a great movie. I watched it today again. It was amazing.
Yeah, I would like to say of my top 10, I think I have the most Halloween movies in my top 10. And Halloween 78, relax, Matt. It is number 1 of the Halloween movies. It's just not in the top 3 of the big 3. So, and to me, number 3, I enjoy watching the original Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Our first episode ever. There's a lot of nostalgia with that in a lot of different areas. But we spoke about it forever. But my number 3 is Nightmare on Elm Street, 84.
Okay. My number 3 is Halloween 2018. I love this movie. I know we picked it, so I'm not going to go over it again. But I like that Dustin said was a breath of fresh air that needed to be put into the franchise. Is it perfect? No. But so with atmosphere, mood, setting, cinematography, the music to this movie is good. John Carpenter and his son, and I think I working with them, they do such a good job with them in that movie. I think the kills are great. There's some missed comedy that I don't like. I don't like peanut butter on the penis Ray. I think that's god awful. But outside of those little nitpicks, I think it's a damn good Halloween movie and just a great follow up to the original 1978. If you watch them back to, they do play well together. Now, I'm fine keeping the original continuity. I'm just saying, if I ever do that, I think it is a good follow-up to a movie 40 years, made 40 years before it. They do a good job with it. So that's why it's number 3.
Yeah, number 3 for me is Halloween 1978. Listen, it's the highest rated Halloween movie I have. It's the highest movie that's not a Friday the 13th. I've let it be known that Friday the 13th is my favorite franchise, so I think that this speaks volumes to how good I think Halloween 78 is. And I'm a big Jamie Lee Curtis fan, so I think that she did a great job in the movie, despite what Nico says about Laurie. It does have some iconic shots and iconic scenes, and then obviously it gave us the horror film score, right? Like the most iconic song in horror movie history. I really like it a lot.
Yep.
I don't like it as much as Mike does, I know, but that's okay. We can't compete for its love.
Right.
No.
I mean, no one's going to leave. Spoiler alert.
That's true.
Number 3 for me, and 3 and 2 were kind of tough for me. But number 3, we reviewed it. We interviewed the star of this movie as well. It's the very first horror movie I ever saw as a little kid. Friday 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I love C.J. Graham's portrayal as Jason. I love his look. I like the Batman utility look. I think it's great. This is a great Friday the 13th film. I love it. The scene where he's on top of the flaming RV is iconic to me as well. It's a great look. I love this movie. It's great. And it's a fast-paced watch, too, as well. Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis was great. So 4 and 6 are great. Instead, it's the meat of the sandwich at 5 is kind of a weird entry, but I love Part 6. Jason Lives is great. The opening scene is top 5 for me, too. I love the opening scene of Jason Lives.
Matt, there's no way in hell Halloween 3 is in the top 5 of anything. Sorry, buddy.
And he just put it in the top 3. So credibility just went out the window with that.
Movies.
Top 5, yeah. Halloween.
All right, my number 2 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I love this movie. It's my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I think this is Freddy's best look, even though it's not necessarily Freddy, but I think the fact that he's a demon is even more badass. And I think he's got one of the best gloves, the best look. Heather Langenkamp. I mean, what can you say? What else can you say about this that haven't been said? It's my number 2 overall favorite movie of all 3 of these, and love it.
My number 2 is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. This is my favorite Nightmare movie. It's not close, even to the original. I don't think they're interchangeable for me. Boy, Dream Warriors so much. The Freddy. You get Scary Freddy with one-liners, so he's not a complete joke yet. But welcome to my time, bitch, and all that stuff. Those one-liners in this movie are done so well that I hate that that's what they took a movie and they just made him that character in 4. That kind of sucks. That's why that's why I have 4 so low. 4 is so low because I love every single character in this movie. They kill off all the good ones in Part 4 very early on. So that really pisses me off, and that's why 4 was so damn low because it didn't return anyone I cared about. Cade, Freddy, you burnt my fuck all that. I think he's great. I think that, again, the Dream Warrior song, awesome. Robert Englund is awesome. Heather Langenkamp is great. And I actually like the end more than Nico does. So it doesn't necessarily bother me. And every single kill in this movie, except kill, is great. So that's why it's number 2. My love will forever go on Elm Street Part 3.
And Wes Craven. Wes Craven is the reason that the top 3 Nightmare on Elm Streets are good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's true. And I cannot say that I will pick The Fog before Ghost of Mars, but it depends on what theme we have going on that month. We'll see, man. It's not a no, it's a maybe. I swear to God. Number 2 for me is Friday the 13th, the 1980 original. You all are insane. That is a great movie. It's a great movie. It it gives you the storyline for what the rest of the franchise is about, why Jason's going to be a killer. And the twist, like I told you guys Like I told you guys, if you just, which I guess I'm a hypocriticizer because I'm about to say, shout out to Harold and Kumar, escaped from Guantanamo Bay, and George W. Bush, you fucking hypocriticizer too. But I'm about to say something that I said that everybody's, Matt included, says about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. If you don't go into it looking for Jason, if you don't expect Jason to be the killer, which actually I think that makes the twist even better, is Jason's mama. Like, I'm not going to keep defending this movie on your deaf ears. There's a reason why this movie is widely regarded as the highest rated film in the franchise. Kevin Bacon gets stabbed up through his back, through his chest. It's a great scene. It's a great death.
I do like that kill. Good kill.
It's a good kill. And then you get, the end is even a twist. Like, did that really happen, or did she imagine getting grabbed by the little boy out of the water? Like, that even more makes you think even more. Great film. Friday the 13th, 1980 original.
I don't hate it like the rest of it. I'll say that.
All right. I mean, it's all preference. Number 2 is my favorite Halloween movie, Halloween 2018. The reason I truly love this movie is because we get a absolutely phenomenal portrayal of Michael Myers from James Jude Courtney. A lot of the big issue I have with this franchise is it's kind of made Michael look kind of wimpy, and I hate that. But James Jude Courtney absolutely is a beast in this movie. I love it. I love Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie as well. I've been critical of too much Laurie, but she is awesome in this movie. I love her. I love her daughter and granddaughter with Judy Greer and Andy Matichak. They're great. The kills are great in this movie. The Brian, like Brian's mentioned in the past, the bathroom scene, it's pretty much an homage to several different ones. Is phenomenal in this movie. The one cut that me and Mike loved with Michael walking through, it's kind of like a sandwich homage to part 2, which is one cut of him walking through these people's houses. Awesome. I think, and like I said, this movie has potential to go down if the 2 sequels aren't good. So, but as of right now, Halloween 2018 is my number 2 choice and my number 1 Halloween movie in the franchise. And it's got Coach Yost in it. Coach Yost.
All right, here we go.
They don't gain another yard.
Halloween with Coach Yost. I'm about to say, it should have just put this line in that movie to see if anybody would know.
Hey, so as I'm about to tell you my number 1, first of all, thanks for everybody for tuning in to our first live show. And Nico,
Yes.
why I'm telling everybody, why don't you tell them who's sponsoring this?
All right, guys. Just want to give one more quick shout out to our sponsor. Shout out to Manscaped. If you just go to manscaped.com and use our code Don't Go, you get 20% off and free shipping. That's anything on the site. You don't have to get the most expensive. And if you just want like a bottle of cologne or some deodorant, anything like body wash, if you want to try a good product out, just use our code Don't Go on manscaped.com. It's a great product.
All right. So my number 1 is Friday the 13th, 2009 reboot. It's what I think Friday the 13th should have always been. It's the combination. I can watch the whole franchise and say, oh, I wish this part was in this movie, and the look of this Jason's in this movie, and this Jason portrayal is in this movie. And to me, this takes the whole thing and makes it, combines everything that I like about it. I think the only thing that would have made it a little bit better would have been if it was, camp counselors or something like that. We'll review this movie eventually, but I love everything about it. I love everything about Jason. I love all his new, explanations on how he is. I love the underground tunnels. I love everything about it. So my number 1 is the Friday the 13th, 2009 Derek Mears helmed reboot.
Nice. Love that movie. Okay, my number 1 is pretty obvious. My number 1 is Halloween 1978, the original John Carpenter film. We reviewed it, and I tried to nitpick it because I wanted to be critical, but there really isn't anything that I don't like about the movie. Outside of Michael in the car, I really don't have an issue with a single other thing in this movie. I have to take into account that 1978 is the year that it was made and released. And some of the things that don't age well is only because of course, it doesn't age well. But what is timeless is the camera work, the cinematography, the score. This Laurie Strode, Michael Myers by Nick Castle is phenomenal. He plays the Shape. They don't ever say his name is Michael Myers in that movie. He's the Shape. The original intent of the character is why I love the end so much. He disappeared. Is he human? Is he not human? It doesn't get into all that Cult of Thorns stuff. Like, it just gets so watered down as it goes, which is why 2018 was such a refreshing, breath to have. They cleaned all that up. But I love this movie. I have the hat I have on is a stitch of the original poster, the pumpkin with the 978 on the back. That's why I wore it. Just love this movie. I think it's awesome. I watch it a couple times a year. I watched it again today. It's that time. Halloween 1978. Great job. Great score. I love you, John. I know you don't love us, but I love you.
Yeah, my number one is Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I said when that was the first episode you guys had me on was, was it the ranking of that or the review of that episode or when we interviewed CJ Graham? I don't remember which one released first. Either way,
Graham.
It was CJ Graham. Okay, so that was you guys had me on as a guest at that time because I told you all how much I love the movie, and then we reviewed the movie and I gave it an 8.5. By far the highest I've ranked rated any of the movies in the franchise. It's just very enjoyable to me. Now, it does have its flaws. Obviously, I don't like the Ernest goes to camp music while they're playing paintball. Like, I hated that aspect of it. I'm not a big fan of the Wilson face print on the tree with the blood. But everything else is great. The opening scene is fantastic with him digging up the grave and just the brutal kill. He just punches straight through his heart. I love this is the scene. This is the movie where we get the gotcha bitch. And because she thinks that he's disappeared, and when she turns around, he's standing right over. I think that it's got one of the most iconic shots in the franchise history. It's second only to the Times Square scene when he's standing on top of the overturned RV and it's on fire. That shot right there is just incredible. So yeah, again, this is personal preference of what I enjoy. Not necessarily the best movie of these 31, but it's absolutely my favorite to watch of these 31 movies.
That's fair.
I'm glad you said that, Dustin. Like you said, it's my favorite. I've already told this story a bunch. I'm not going to go real deep because we're almost at 2 hours. Number one for me is like Brian said with Jason Goes to Hell. Mine is Freddy vs. Jason. 12-year-old boy saw this movie in theaters with my mama. I was too young to go see this, obviously, but I love it. It's got two of the three damn main stars of the franchise we're ranking in the movie. I fully admit that 8 through 2, the ones I ranked below it, are probably shot better writers, blah, blah, blah. I'll fully admit that. There's a lot of stupid stuff in this that I don't like, but this movie means a lot to me. It always will. We had Robert and Ken on the show, which was awesome. And I know it's not a popular opinion, but I love Ken's portrayal as Jason. I love the slow. He's kind of Michael Myers-esque in my opinion. I don't know if y'all agree or not, but he's kind of Michael Myers-esque. He's slow, but he's big. He's brutal. He's strong. I think him and James G. Courtney are pretty similar in their portrayals, honestly. And I honestly consider almost putting 2018 Halloween above it, but Freddy vs. Jason is just so sentimental to me. I love it. So it'll probably always be number one just because me and my mom saw it when I was 12, man. What am I supposed to do?
Hey, remember that tomorrow. Remember that when we record H2O tomorrow.
Okay.
But Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, the nostalgia part. Go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. I get it.
Dude, I ranked Halloween by Rob Zombie my top 6. That's pure nostalgia. That's it.
No,
that's crying
that's
shit.
just smart.
No,
that's just good logic.
Have you ever listened to the dialogue in that movie, Dustin? Crying shit. Your daughter's got a nice ass, whatever he says. I forget what he says.
Spunk all over them flappy titties.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. We don't have to. Nobody talks like that except us, apparently. Fellas, anything else before we want to get?
No,
Anything else?
thanks,
Want to get out of here? We're almost at 2 hours.
thanks everybody for tuning in.
Hey, y'all want to answer Joe's question real quick? She asked,
Yeah.
who is our favorite killer and franchise? We'll do it for the big three and just in general. I'll go first if y'all want me to.
Sure.
Out of the big three, I'm going Jason and Friday the 13th, both of them. Overall, Jason is still my favorite killer, but my favorite horror franchise is the Saw franchise.
Okay.
Whoever wants to go next and go ahead.
All right,
I'll go ahead. Okay,
Go ahead, Dustin. Go ahead, Dustin. Go ahead, Dustin.
Well, I was just going to say, much like Nico and my 31 through 28 rankings tonight, we're the exact same. That's why I'll go ahead and go Jason and Friday the 13th. And if we're talking overall, Jason and Saw.
Okay.
All right. I'll go. Let Brian go last since he went first all night. My out of the big three, obvious, it's Myers and Halloween. My favorite killer overall is still Myers. My horror movie franchise is actually I love 1, 2, and 4 so much. Just as a franchise, if I sit and watch one films,
I think you broke up, Mike. Really excited. You broke up, Mike. What'd you say? Was it Scream? You broke up.
Oh yeah, Scream. So yeah, my bad. Scream. Scream was my favorite franchise. I think 3 is not that good, but outside of that, I mean, I enjoy all the Scream movies, and I'm excited about a 5th one. So that's favorite.
All right. So of the big three, Jason's my favorite character. As you can see by my rankings, I think that most of his movies lack in the series. As a series in the big three, I like the Halloween movies the best. That's why I had 4 or 5 of them, I think, in my top 10. I think that they stick to the continuity better. I can really enjoy watching 1 through 8, and there's a stinker or two, but I think that they are better overall as a franchise. I think than the other 3. Outside of the big three, I would say it's really close, honestly, now between I was gonna say The Conjuring, but if you count all the spin-offs, I really only just care for one, Conjuring 2. But I'm gonna have to agree with Mike that Scream franchise overall is my favorite. Now again, that could go down just depending on how bad the rest of them. If they mess up Scream 5, I may give up all entirely. But right now, they've got me.
Mike, to give us a Joe Grizzly and end us out of here.
Oh, okay. Fellas, I want to thank you for indulging me in doing this. Everyone that watched on Facebook, YouTube. I'm not 100% sure that Instagram is functioning, but that's okay. You saw us wherever you saw us. We really, really appreciate you guys watching. Can't thank you enough. Thanks for all the support. Make sure we will have an audio version to this, so make sure if you want to re-listen to hours of us talking shit about each other's lists, it'll be wherever your podcast drops, like it normally is on Halloween.
Hey,
YouTube as well.
But we have a normal episode. Yep.
I was going to say at least listen to it for the intro that's going to be on there. Mike did a good little video for YouTube, and we have our usual intro for the listeners out there. So we appreciate it for sure. And listen, I know we push Manscaped, but if you can, just buy some nail clippers or just anything and use the code, we greatly appreciate it. We don't make a whole lot of money off of it at all. We just basically, it keeps us on the airwaves. So we appreciate any help you can give us.
This live stream is with a little bit of Manscaped money, fellas. So, okay. Again, thank you. Make sure you check out this one episode, which is Halloween H20, popping this week on your podcast. So you can find us on all the social medias. Fellas, I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch.